the next step is the third step, which is we are going to process the file. What means the process the file? So process the file is nothing but we're going to apply here the Python operator while processing the file. Why? Because in the processing the file, we're going to read the data and writing into output file, nothing but. So let me just go with the process data. The process data, I'm checking, suppose. So because why I'm taking Python operator, now the data is already landed from SFTP to Airflow. Now in the Airflow, the data is available. If there is any cleansing activity, if there is any activity, you can use the Python operator. So Python operator, and we can see here the task ID. I'm taking process data as task ID. Okay, and I'm going to take templates underscore dictionary equal to what I'm taking is the locations. Like I'm taking first input file. Input file location is in the OPT Airflow. Right. So here, this is nothing but my input file, right? Because this is the way the file is downloaded from SFTP to Airflow.
Airflow, yes. Yeah.
And I'm going to take the output file. So what I'm asking is here, let's read the locations, and then we will create a function, separate function. Suppose I'm calling output.csv, let's say. So, and now this is input, and that's the output. And I'm going to call a function. I'll write a function, suppose process, let me call definition process underscore data. So this is nothing but a function. Now I'm going to use that function. Okay, so the function is not ready. Now we'll create the function. As of now, we have not used any functions. Why? Because these just SFTP operators. Now, when we use a Python operator, we can call the, if any transformations or something, you can use function activity. So I'm sending this template dictionary, nothing but the arguments. So we can just simply say pass the arguments. Okay, I'm passing the arguments, and now templates dictionary equal to kw arguments dot get. Where is my dictionary? Template dictionary is nothing but this one, right? Input output locations. So I'm just passing these locations. This is dictionary, and for the input file, let me take suppose input file equal to, in my template dictionary, input file is actually input file path. I've already passed arguments, so just get the arguments. Input file location as input file. And I can use the same thing. I can use for output file. Okay, input output file. Okay, now what I'm doing is I'm just reading input data and then I'm loading into an output file with actually the CSV file format. Just here, let me create dictionary output rows. Okay, with we have already input file received and it is already available in the Airflow. That file I'm reading. I'm opening the file. So with open of input file. So this input file, what is the new line? Just define is by default it's empty. When you see empty, then it's a file. Let me read the file format. So this CSV file I'm reading. Now for row in CSV.reader of the CSV file, just doing as row append of processed where into output rows. Output underscore rows. So I'm adding it to a new dictionary called output underscore rows. And then when you see the append, we're just adding a row. So nothing but I'm reading the data from the input file. The processed rows, I'm actually appending into output rows, output folder. So where is the output? So right now, this is all we did input. So now I can take the functionality with we have output file, right? Output file location. We have not used output file yet. So here what I can do is I can take the output file. If you remember in the first class, I think we did while doing the Postgres, we did the same way of loading activity, loading a data. Same way here, I'm just taking new line empty and here area CSV file. Now I'm going to write the data. Writer equal to CSV dot writer of CSV file and I can just do the writing writer of write rows output underscore rows. Just reading from the input and writing into the output. So if you see, we got CSV error because you need to use a CSV library. Now see, we don't have error. So this is like a reading and writing when you call this function. So this Python operator and we have not used Python operator in the above. No, okay. Let me import from Airflow dot operators Python import Python operator. Right, so yeah, we got the process function and we read the Python operator for reading and writing. Okay, but that is writing into my Airflow location, not the SFTP, because what is our requirement is to take from the processed file from Airflow and then load to the target remote location. Whenever you are reading or loading, we have to use must SFTP. So we used here SFTP operator for reading. Same way for writing, you have to use SFTP operator.
Put data. Okay.
Yeah, exactly, to put the data.
Okay.
So now we finished the processed file. So you can just add this process to file. Okay, let me do the final function called upload file, or I can do put file. So you do put file SFTP operator I'm using. In SFTP operator, I'm going to call the task ID. I'll just use the same as a function. Okay, task ID is ready. And we use here the connection, right? SS connection. I can use the same connection. And yeah, now what is a local path and what is a remote file path? So for the remote file path, what is remote file path? Remote file path, like
It's not
where?
your Airflow location, right?
No, remote file path. So now we are in
It's
the
already there.
Airflow when, yeah, exactly. It is already in the Airflow. When we are in the Airflow, the remote is always outside of Airflow. So this is remote. Yeah, as you mentioned here, remote location, remote location. So the input file is already in the input file is already in our Airflow. Now I'm asking here, what is the remote location? The remote location is nothing but your computer only outside of your Airflow. So, but where is output? Where is output file? Where you want to keep? You can keep anywhere. For example, where is the okay? Do we have output location? Okay, I have these two input file. This data. No, I think we used our source and target, right? Yeah, we used source. Yeah. Okay, now if you see in the target, I don't have any file, right?
Yes,
It's
no
empty.
empty.
Yeah. So now I'm asking here. I'll just take the same. Okay, let me take the same. Copy the path. I just copy the path. And in that, what is the file name you want? I want suppose output.csv. Let's say we have input file in the source. It's going to sensor, to Airflow, transformed. We got the result, and the result is storing as different file name called output.csv. Okay. Now what is here the path, the input, the local file path? What is the local file path here? Is nothing but Airflow, right? Because I'm in the Airflow. Whenever you say SFTP operator, remember always your local path is Airflow. Remote path is outside of your Airflow. That's it. If you are here, then it's just source remote path. If you are here, then your destination remote path. So now in the local path, what is my local path? This is the local path, right? Where we have,
Yeah,
because
Airflow.
if you see here, yeah, because after you process the data, we're asking to load the processed data in the processed folder, which with this name, but it is end of the day, it's Airflow location only. So this is, and what is the operation? Put right. Because here it is
Yeah.
getting a data, and here is going to put the data. Okay, I think we are good, but I think we need to check the connections. Because this morning I just formatted a few things. Let me check the connection. Localhost connections. Okay, What is the connection with SFTP default
default. Yeah.
and SFTP? What is the host we used here? Is IP address.
You config.
If config. System name and cutter. Just test it. Okay, success. We use the same name, right? Okay. And any other connections we required? No. Yeah, I think we are good. What is the tag name? SFTP source target. This one, right? We did yesterday.
Yes.
Now you got two functions, two tasks are added. Now let me refresh and I'm executing now. So source file check, get the data, and now this is processing.
Yep.
But look, this one have error.
Yeah,
What it's saying? Upward try. Let me check the log. Not found on config. What is this? No, this is leave it. You don't require SMTP. Yeah, I think it's some dictionary issue. So templates underscore dictionary. Templates underscore dictionary. Give arguments dot get. Oh, this one is actually a variable is coming from the source. So let me just refresh graph.
I think you have to. Yes, is there? I don't know. Yes,
Oh, sorry.
templates. Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry. Yeah, you're right. Okay, I think. Let me just auto refresh. Check always the grid because grid always will work on. Okay, still we have one more error. Starting 1 of 2. Okay, is now gives a different error. Output file with new line. Sorry. So on reading the output file, is writing. We are writing a CSV file. Okay, writer equal to CSV.writer, CSV files, and writer.writer rows. Yeah, this is correct. I don't know why. Just yes, single quotes. Maybe it is some. Okay. Maybe some other issue. We'll see. The same issue. Why the open is input file or output file? Output file. What is the defined function? Path is not none type. First of all, in the input path, this is our input data. Okay. And let me check. Put underscore append. Oh, okay. Put underscore file. Oh, so this is CSV writer, right? Not right. Let me use this writer. Okay, now let's refresh graph. Let me execute again. Check the grid. Go to the latest one. Still one more. Why it's showing the same way? With open. Writer dot rows. Output rows. Row in CSV dot reader. Dot append is processed. Output rows append to the row. I don't see any errors. Output file. Let me check here if any functionality issue. I don't think. Let me just give it a try. I don't know why it's not. For retry with open output file of I think on the output. Oh, sorry, here output file. So it's not able to fetch. It's output or out file output. Okay. Output. Yeah. It's always some syntax issues. Okay, now let's give a try. Let's just refresh. Get to the, yeah, now it's success. We got all
Yeah.
jobs. Let's check. First in the source file check. It is checking the authentication. Yes, success. And then success criteria met. So automatically the second task will trigger. And on the get data, so it is starting to transfer the data because the file is available. If the file is not available, then that sensor job itself, it can running status. And this is read, completed. And the process data is nothing but, so reading and processing into Airflow itself. So process data is not going to transfer your data. Process data is just using a Python operator within Airflow. We are doing some transformations and loading in the Airflow itself. And the put file is the file is going to check again the connection. And this time it is going to transfer from Airflow from when they say OPT means Airflow, from OPT to output. And if you observe here, this is our the location where the intermediate results, like from the processed, it is coming here. Now where the file is loaded into the target location. So previously, see here, previously I don't have this output CSV, right? But now
Yes.
we got the output CSV. So we sent this one. Suppose if I delete this again, suppose if I move this for temporarily outside, let me move to docs folder, for example.
So there is no source file.
Yeah, true. There's no source, there's no target. So if you see the graph, if I trigger the job, what will happen? It will be in the light green, which is running status.
Okay.
It is keep on checking. It depends upon what is the time you define. So I put the time at 100 seconds. So Now I'm taking the input file to source, move, and you can see now you'll get within a 1 minute that once the tag everything is completed, the file will come into the target location, which is called output.csv. Yeah, see here, we got it.
Okay. Yep.
Right. So yeah, so the same way in real time, we don't know the enough. We may not don't have access on the source. Um, so but sometimes we have access to source, but
If
we
there
can't
is
copy paste.
yeah,
Yeah.
question, if there is no
Yeah.
input file, it
Yeah.
throws an exception and fails.
If there is no input
If there
file,
is no input file, and if
yeah,
you running the DAG, if you run the DAG, then
yeah.
it throws an exception and fails.
It depends upon what is your timeout.
I know.
If suppose
Okay.
I don't have any timeout, and if I put only like this, it will never throw any exception. It is keep on every 10 seconds, it will try to get the data.
That means
Okay,
the DAG
let's
still
see.
runs, right?
Yeah, the
That
tag
means
still runs. The tag
runs.
still runs. Yeah,
Oh, okay.
the tag still
Okay.
runs. So it's a I mean the job of the tag is keep on checking the source. So the tag is always in running status. It's not good, to be honest, because
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Consumes a
Airflow,
lot of
exactly, it
resources.
consumes a lot of resources, and Airflow job is to orchestrate. It's not to, it's not IoT. It is not IoT, or it is not the real-time ingestion. So it is only for schedule. That's the reason it's better always to schedule some time. Or you can use this SFTP sensor type of the things, and you can put some timeouts or some things, and we can do like this, uh, the scheduling basis. If you schedule the job, you don't require any sensor. You can just use the operator directly, because actually this sensor is not doing anything. It's just taking the file. That's it. It's not doing any action actually. It is only triggering the other jobs. Even because we put like this order. If this is fail, if this is fail, then this all will fail, because it doesn't matter the dependency. We put the dependency. You don't know what dependency it is. We put the dependency. We know the process. We put the dependency between, okay, task 1, task 2, task 3, task 4. But this function, this task, and this task don't know the dependency between the source. It simply follow the order what you have defined. If I have not followed anything, if I remove this, then all will run parallelly, right? So, for example, okay, if you see, as you said, okay, now I put the timeout 100. Suppose I'm taking that source, I'm just moving into docs again, that input file. I don't require the output one. I can delete a number of times. So yeah, in the source, I don't have any file. Now, if you see what will happen when we trigger the DAG. So I put the time limit right here, 100. Yeah, so 100. I think we tested yesterday, Friday. So
Yes. Yeah.
it will check the every 10 seconds. It will reconnect. Remember, every 10 seconds is reconnecting. Every time it's reconnecting. So the problem is on the reconnecting. If suppose some network issue or some credential issue, if you put the reconnecting, first time failed, second time failed, third time failed, and what fourth time, fourth time it will lock the user. So that's we have to be careful. It is not always keep on checking. If it is success, fine, it is checking, because it's success always authentication. If suppose authentication is failed n number of times, if authentication failed for the 3 times or something, uh, even though when you retry, I'm asking when you retry, even though when you retry more than 3 times, because if the authentication is failing more than 3 times, then the user will lock automatically. So like those type of security things has to follow. Of course, that's not our job to take care by everything. InfoSec and the network team, they will take care of this type of monitoring, and then they'll shout us if there is anything they see differently, or we can ask them if we have any issues. So it's not to be honest, it's not one man job. Only writing the code and testing is our thing, and remaining infosec related and any other things we can see. See now, after now the job failed after checking with the 10 times after the 104th second
Okay. Yeah.
timeout issue.
Yes.
See, I have error. Now, if you see, if I go to the graph, it's error.
Yes. Yeah.
Suppose if I remove this timeout and if I trigger the job, so if you go to the graph, it is going to keep on run. It is going to keep on run. So this they don't have any deadline. This don't have anything. So it's going to keep on run until the source file is ready. So
Oh.
yeah. So always the good, if you want to go with this way and you can put the timeout is the best. You can schedule on some time. You can use sensor to start the job, and you can use this sensor for few minutes. Like for example, you know that every day you'll get a file at 2 o'clock, but you may get some file after 2 minutes, 3 minutes, maybe 10 minutes. But you want to keep on recheck, then you can use these type of sensors and you can use the connectivity, but or else you can schedule. Most of the scenarios will go for scheduling time only. But yeah, if we got this type of requirement, you can see it's keep on. So see, it started long back and just keep on checking.
Yeah. Yes.
You don't have any failure. It will show always running status, and the job is always running. The whole DAG is running status.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so yeah. So we did the connectivity from the remote location to the SFTP, from SFTP to Airflow, and downloading the file. And main thing is if you have any processing the data, you can use the Python operator to connect, and you can use the remote location to connect um, to the target way. Okay. Yeah. So we have
Okay.
completed this path, everything, loading from external file system to the Airflow to file system, and this one. So we'll see S3 later. If you want S3 connectivity, right? And
Yeah.
distributed thing,
S3
yeah.
and creating a copy in the archive folder like that. Yeah. Okay. And
Yeah.
okay.
Sorry, creating the archive. Okay, yeah, okay. So one file is actually going. So are you using any zip conversions, like taking as zip and then
No.
loading the zip? Okay. Normally, like what we do in the projects is when we archive, we don't require to waste our data space, right? We always make a zip, uh, and then we'll throw that, because in archive, when you use, uh, we basically use historical things, right? We don't require to check every time. We just rarely will use those scenarios. You can just use zip conversion and then save it. So it will help to compress your data. It will reduce your size as
Yes.
well. Yeah. So in the next section, we are going to see, we'll see the next topics about the next things. Mainly, you need to focus on the other operators, as well as we'll see this archive and S3 also in the next sections.
Oh.
Yeah.